Two people wake up on the same Monday morning, same alarm time, same commute, same 8-hour shift. On paper, they're equals, but one of them can absorb bad news and the other can't. The difference isn't discipline, it isn't intelligence, it isn't hustle, it's margin. Because when you don't have financial margin, every small problem turns into a chain reaction. A cracked phone screen doesn't stay a cracked screen. It becomes missed calls, lost work, stress, and another bill you weren't planning for. A minor car issue doesn't stay minor. It waits, it compounds, and eventually it explodes at the worst possible moment. That's not bad decision making, that's physics. When you're broke, you're operating without shock absorbers. Most people think poverty is about not having enough money. That's not quite right. Poverty is about paying more for everything because you don't have money up front. It's a penalty system baked into daily life, and it hits you from every angle. Let's start small. Buying in bulk isn't a life hack, it's a privilege. If you can afford to buy 6 months of household essentials at once, your cost per unit drops dramatically. If you can't, you're forced into higher prices, smaller quantities, and constant rebuying. Same products, same brands, different outcomes. That difference adds up quietly, month after month. Now zoom out. Banks love customers who don't need them. If you keep a healthy balance, fees disappear, perks appear, flexibility exists. But if your account balance lives on the edge, every small misstep becomes a revenue opportunity for the bank. One forgotten charge, one delayed deposit. Suddenly you're paying more in penalties than you ever borrowed. That's not encouragement, that's extraction. The same pattern shows up with credit, transportation, housing, healthcare, insurance, everywhere. The less margin you have, the more expensive survival becomes. You're charged extra for risk, even when that risk exists precisely because you're being charged extra. It's circular and it's brutal. And here's the part most people don't talk about. Money stress doesn't just drain your bank account, it drains your brain. When you're constantly worried about making rent or covering the next bill, your mental bandwidth shrinks. Long-term thinking becomes harder. Planning feels impossible. Everything turns into short-term survival mode. That's why people make decisions that outsiders judge harshly. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's cognitive overload. When your brain is busy keeping the lights on, it can't optimize for the future. Wealth doesn't just buy better stuff, it buys mental quiet. That quiet lets people compare options, delay gratification, negotiate, learn, and wait. Those without it are forced into faster, worse choices, not because they want to be, but because waiting costs too much. This is why the advice to just invest misses the point. If you're bleeding money through high-interest debt, late fees, emergency repairs, and predatory financing, chasing a 7% return makes no sense. The real win is stopping the losses. Escaping this cycle doesn't start with getting rich. It starts with creating a buffer, a small one at first, enough cash to turn emergencies into inconveniences, enough room to fix problems early instead of late, enough flexibility to say no to bad deals and high-interest traps. That first cushion changes the math of your life. It lowers stress, it lowers fees, it lowers future costs. It gives you leverage, and leverage is what breaks the cycle. Once you have it, your decisions shift. You stop asking, "Can I afford this payment?" and start asking, "What does this cost me over time?" You stop renting stability and start owning it piece by piece. The system isn't designed for this awareness. Companies profit from late fees, convenience charges, and short-term thinking. When you stop feeding that machine, you become less profitable to them and more powerful in your own life. So here's the practical move. Look for the places where being broke is costing you extra: high interest, repeat purchases, fees, time drains. Identify the biggest one. Then focus your energy on eliminating that single penalty, even if it means temporary sacrifice, not as punishment, as strategy. Because every small buffer you build buys you fewer emergencies later, and fewer emergencies mean better choices, and better choices compound just as aggressively as bad ones, just in the opposite direction. This isn't about guilt, it's about mechanics. Once you understand the math, you stop blaming yourself. and start dismantling the system piece by piece. That's how you get out, one margin at a time. If this helped you see money differently, do me a favor. Share this with someone who needs it. Hit the subscribe button for more breakdowns like this and give the video a thumbs up so it reaches more people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.